City always brings a smile to my face. Winged freak terrorizes. Wait till they get a load of me.
Hello everyone, this is Speak Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're going to take a look back at the great actor Jack Nicholson and his portrayal of the Joker, and ask whether it's the best live action interpretation of the character. Now there might be spoilers for the movie Batman 1989 that he stars in, of course, so just beware when going into this overall video. And when we look at the character of the Joker overall, and what we expect from, without doubt, one of the most iconic comic book villains, we always associate him as an extremist in terms of being crazy, psychotic, performing random acts of violence for his own amusement, and being just this unrelenting force of true evil. But the Joker to an extent also has to be funny. Not that we as an audience favour extreme violence, but he has to be this watchable, entertaining presence in a dark comic sense. Whilst you don't want him to be overly goofy or campy, he has to have elements of levity, otherwise he just becomes too one note. Whilst clearly the villain of the piece, we also want to watch the Joker whenever he's on screen. So with all of that criteria involved, we ask the question again as to whether Jack Nicholson's Joker is the best live action performance of the character, and for me and for a lot of people the answer is yes. And whilst there was plenty of controversy surrounding Michael Keaton's casting as Batman at the time, there were very little gripes about casting one of the greatest screen actors of all time as a Joker. And as the Joker, he brings his own natural aura and screen personality here. This is a Joker that does have that constant charisma and presence. He does bring that vivid energy and manic tone that you'd expect from the character. And this Joker is completely dominating as a master of his own crazy universe. He's not dictated by somebody else or brought down by another individual. He is absolutely a villain and true evil. We're not made to understand or empathise with him because that's not the Joker. You can't have him committing all of these heinous crimes and evil acts and then on the other hand be asked to feel sorry for him, because that just doesn't work. And this is what keeps the tension compelling, as we all know that the Joker will not stop in his reign of terror. And this again is what we see within Jack Nicholson's version. And we look at his portrayal as a wonderful mixture of all sorts of elements that really embody the Joker. We have the disturbing scene of him first realising his disfigurement with his plastic surgeon. We see him crashing the mirror and then howling in laughter all the way as he's walking up the stairs. Almost horror-esque as this sequence plays out. We look at the way that he manipulates and disfigures Eliza halfway through the film. We have so many funny moments in terms of his TV commercials, dispersing his brand of chemical mix within Gotham City. We then have the electric sequence where we see him and his crew dancing their way into the Gotham Museum with Prince's Party Man song playing in the background. An absolute fantastic moment, again just full of the wackiness and craziness that we see in terms of this overall portrayal. We have the albeit silly but hilarious moment when he pulls out a long gun, firing it against Batman within the Batwing and getting blown back by the recoil of the gun. But we also have some darker moments, and probably the most violent, where we see him burning a gangster literally to a crisp and then fastening his tie around his neck and then laughing hysterically, "I'm glad you're dead." And this is a classic scene full of what the Joker should be all the way, and it works in any medium as a true vision of what the character is all about. And when we look at it, Nicholson's Joker was given so much in terms of memorable dialogue and scenes, which again is how it should be when concerning the Joker. Whether it's the line, "Wait till they get a load of me," that great moment near the beginning of the film. We do have, of course, the "Where does he get the wonderful toys?" as we see Batman crashing through a window and rescuing Vicky Vale. And of course we have the classic, "Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?" Something that he says both in his Joker form and his natural form as Jack Napier. And somebody like the Joker should have memorable dialogue, and when we look at Nicholson's Joker, he has much more memorable scenes than any other cinematic version of the character, which is another reason which makes him overall the best live action interpretation. Now, the only drawback we could say about this version is the decision to make him the killer of Bruce Wayne's parents, which is of course majorly against the source material. Now, in terms of a natural story and narrative, this move made sense as you want to up the ante and draw the tension between both hero and villain. You wanted to escalate the conflict even more and give Batman a further driving motivation in order to kill the Joker. Naturally, the character shouldn't need any extra motivation when taking on the Joker. The whole aspect of Batman is that he's completely driven in order to take down any villain. But this doesn't really take away the aspect of the Joker itself. As I mentioned before, it's best that you don't give Joker any type of backstory, and this movie and this interpretation very much didn't do that. So when we look at it overall, Jack Nicholson's Joker, more than any other live action interpretation, really does sum up what we would imagine a prime version of the Joker to be. Now, of course, anybody watching this will draw comparisons to other impactful versions. Cinematically, of course, the version that people will draw most comparison to will be Heath Ledger's Joker, and I've done a separate video for that and you can check that out within the channel. And whilst, yes, Heath Ledger's Joker does make an impression, he is definitely a dark and scary version of the Joker, and he does as well have some memorable scenes of dialogue. But the problem with his version is that he is too one note, and as the movie of The Dark Knight goes on, the whole aura and individuality of his Joker eventually wears thin. Some people will mention Joaquin Phoenix's version from the 2019 film, but that really isn't the Joker in the classical sense. That is much more of a sympathetic or empathetic tone, trying to provide some explanation as to why the Joker is the way he is. He's not really the big master criminal. It's very much more of a prequel story and therefore not the Joker in his truest sense. There may be those who mention Cameron Monaghan's version from the Gotham TV series, but again, that's not really the true Joker in the full sense. He didn't really take on the full form of the villain until the penultimate episodes of that particular series, and whilst again he had some sort of impact, it wasn't really anything too charismatic or appealing in terms of his overall performance. So when we really look at all of the other interpretations, I think it's no doubt and no question of who is the best live action interpretation. Now overall, I still say that the best overall interpretation of the Joker still belongs to Mark Hamill's version from Batman the Animated Series, but in terms of live action and cinematic performance, you really can't get any better than Jack Nicholson in his performance as the Joker from Batman 1989, and for all of the reasons I've mentioned before, this is why overall makes his version the best live action interpretation of the character. So there's my overall thoughts and feelings and look back on the greatness of Jack Nicholson's performance as the Joker from Batman 89. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree with me that he is indeed the best version in terms of live action of the character, or whether you think it's Heath Ledger or Joaquin Phoenix or somebody else within the role. Let me know within the comments and we can have further debate and discussion after that. And if you have any other movies or television series or any other subject matter within the pop entertainment and culture scene that you'd like to see me cover, then also let me know within the comments and I will see if I can provide further commentary for you on those topics within the future. Please also hit and like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves and I will see you very, very soon.